Alright, boys and girls, welcome. Today we'll be talking about fucking opportunities in the Steam market that are coming up like fucking soon. So get ready, sit down, enjoy, relax while we try to make some goddamn money.
Welcome to SeixyTV.
But yeah, today we'll be talking about kind of the share web operation and what's going on right now. Interesting enough, there might be an extremely good opportunity to maximize profits here. But again, it's tricky if you don't know what you're looking for. So at least in the CSGO market, kind of like right now we have the shadow web operation, which is coming into an end within 13 days. Hopefully they don't extend it because that will cause like massive panic in the market. But if it doesn't and they discontinue, there might be important things to look for in the skins, stickers, cases, agents, and the pass itself. I will let you know what I'm invested on in case that you guys don't feel comfortable either putting money in things, because the thing is my capital is not as high as many other investors. Again, I'm trying to get from $80 to a freaking butterfly knife, so there's that. But yeah, there's still kind of an analysis that can be done in terms of that, right? It's in terms of the current operations. So let's try to figure that out, right? So first of all, let's go here. Now, first things first, right? We're talking about kind of like the opportunities. Now, the shadow web operation has been going on for a while now, and it's a great opportunity. What I would suggest is kind of like right now markets are on an all-time low, at least in the operation, so it might be a really good time to put your money in here and into the skins and everything that's going around. So we have like three major operations that go with the operation pass, which is the Sandmark collection, the Canals collection, and the Norse collection. These three collections will allow you to kind of like, you know, depending on what you're looking for. Norse collection seems to be the most prevalent of them all, right? But again, right, like quantity in the market will allow you to kind of like, you know, anything factory new seems to be actually out of the market. So there's still some around, but we see some crazy prices just because of trade up opportunities that this offers. But again, even if you're just looking to put in some money, we could see this one's even increase higher in price. Like if we look, for example, the factory new Germanger or whatever, we see kind of like increases and decreases in price, but this is actually pretty normal, right? Again, like I said, it's pretty low prices right now. It's not, in terms of skins, it's not the lowest you're gonna see, but we'll see that later, right? I would say they're gonna go up just because of the fact that they're gonna be discontinued, hopefully. And again, it's a little bit of a risk, but not as high risk as some of the items that we have down the list. So yeah, we have, you know, interesting AKY Lotus, extremely beautiful skin, right? But again, we have those options. We could see them kind of going extremely out of whack at the end of the operation. I'm surprised they didn't do an M4. You know, that would have been interesting. But yeah, so now that we have the skins kind of covered, right? Like again, I'm not gonna touch too much on the skins just because there's really no point. But next things that we're going to be like, the risks are pretty simple, right? Like there are probably going to be discontinued, so they're pretty minimized, but opportunity wise, you could be making a couple of bucks here and there. And if you like them, it's a good time to buy them right now because the price is just going to keep going up. We might see like increase in price like out of this world, right? But yeah, next thing's sticker market. Now the sticker market is extremely lucrative at the moment just because of the opportunities, right? Now if we look at just the quantities in itself, we can see that there's a clear pattern, right? And there's only like 3,000 in the market for the web foil. We have a couple more for the mastermind hollow, and then we have the web stock hollow, which we have like around 10k, and then we have all the other ones, right? Like obviously the counter text seems to be the most popular out of them all just because of the price, but we see that there's a couple more. Now, interestingly enough, right, like there's not much difference between the web stock and the hollow web stock. So I would say I could see this one's going up in price, but I could see maybe doubling in price later on after the operation is done. But I don't think that increasement of price will be like, it won't go to the moon, right? So these ones are kind of tricky in the way that you invest in them. I bought a couple of web gold foils, but I bought at a cheaper price back in the day. So if we're to look at the lifetime, we can actually see that prices were around 370. I bought around here. Still prices are up. We see that there's kind of like a price ceiling here around 650. But again, this is still a place where we haven't seen right now. Everybody's, this was when there's a sudden influx of players buying the pass, and then this is another influx of players kind of finishing their tasks in a sense, right? So that's where the majority of stickers are going to come from, I believe, right? Just because of it's not commercially liable to be buying $60 stars to kind of maximize or increase the number of drops that you get. At least not many people are going to be doing that, even though, most people tend to be like casual players that are spending around $20-$30 in the game just because they don't have to buy a game. So usually, like, I would assume that people are willing to spend around $60 in a game. But again, I might be wrong, right? This is just assumptions. But yeah, I feel that right now prices are low enough to kind of re-enter the market. Just because obviously I don't think we're going to be seeing these low prices. They say people are, commenting on the fact that you could have an opportunity at the end of the operation. But again, the risks in the stickers, as long as they're discontinued after the operation, they should see an increase just because of the lack of supply into the market, right? Yeah, we could see like double, triple your money within a couple of months, which will be extremely, extremely profitable for some people. Next, we're going to talk about the cases. Now, this is extremely risky, and other YouTubers have touched on the point that this may not be discontinued and be added to the normal pool. But again, we're seeing that most cases are actually being spent. You're kidding, right? You're kidding. It's Bea time. Bea, say hi to the video. Bea, say hi to the video. Say hi to the video. Hi. All right. So whatever. In terms of cases, again, it's pretty simple, right? Like if they get discontinued, we might see if it gets discontinued, we see a huge price increase just because of the fact that we're seeing like 79, 80,000 right at the moment. We're seeing pretty much like quite a few being sold on the market. Obviously prices have plummeted for now just because, again, people are rebuying into the market. Like now they're completing missions, people are buying pass as stars, so we see all that different stuff, right? But again, we are kind of seeing this is the lowest the price have been, and we could see a further drop because of panic selling in the case that they do not. Damn, somebody sold it for 85 cents. Damn. But yeah, I just saw that. But yeah, like there's an opportunity definitely to, kind of take advantage of this in case that even if they don't get discontinued, I think people are opening them up faster than they can be put into the market. At least not right now, but maybe later on they might be, right? So the rate in which they're coming into players' inventories is going to be decreased at minimum, right? So in that case, there might be definitely a possibility to just enter the market and kind of benefit from it because there might be a hike after people start going crazy just because of the new items and new things that you can actually get from the drops. But let's continue over here. So yeah, like in terms of, it's extremely risky, but it could be extremely profitable. I have around 18 cases, and it's like in the stickers, I also have a couple of dollars in, but again, I'm not putting most of my portfolio into this just because there's other items that are still profitable within the market. This is just what the opportunity coming up the next couple of weeks is, and if you're looking to invest your money within a month's time, right? All right, so next we're going into the agents. And now the agents, first of all, we must talk about the patches. Now the patches have come out, and that means that CS is willing to look at the agents and look at the possibilities that they bring to the player base, right? Like they're making them more prominent. So in this case, I would suggest it's a really good time. Before it was extremely risky, but now it's becoming less risky just because of what can happen in the future. And in the future, we could see potential for patches for teams that could then be bought out by players that want to, support their teams and have all this different. This could be massive for what comes next within the agents. Now, in terms of agents, we see that it's pretty balanced in terms of the market and how many kind of agents are around. Obviously, the higher tier agents become kind of a little bit more rare, but they're not so super rare. And even you see less agents of maybe the rickshaw and others, or these different ones, because again, they're cheap right now. There's an opportunity to get them, but when we look at the number of skins in the market, for example, when we look at Special Agent Ava, there's 2,000, and then there's 1,800 of Rickshaw. So is he gonna become more rare in the future? We don't know, right? And this is something that obviously this is what people like, and the reason the prices are so high, like Dr. Romanov and Special Agent Ava and the Dr. Romanov right here. But yeah, like, again, extremely low prices in the agents, right? Like there was a hype, definitely hype when the patches came out and people can start representing what they want, right? But again, we're gonna see some definite kind of increases in this, because if they do stop being sold with the operation, then this is definitely gonna go up in price, because slowly people are gonna just put them in their inventories and they're gonna keep them because they wanna. People are gonna just start selling them to think that they might still be extremely volatile in their price. So right now, this is the lowest I've seen Special Agent Ava, like even past the point, right? So we have actually seen this pattern with other agents. It goes up, it goes down, it goes even lower, and then it equalizes at a little bit higher price, which is around $11. I think it will stabilize until the end of the 2 weeks, when everything becomes, let's say, there's certainly a shortage of supply into the market, and this thing start getting sold. Again, this is the first lady in the game, so I think there's extremely beneficial opportunities in terms of agents. Again, they allow you to customize your character better, which was like the creation of skins itself. This is something that it has to do with your character. You don't see your character on a regular basis. It's not like a predominant thing like a skin, but I think we might still double, triples in price in the future. Again, take this with a grain of salt, just because we still don't know how skins are going to behave, and due to the fact that they're still new in the market, they might all plummet in price just because people are looking at this as an investment. There's people already kind of coming in and buying more and more, but this tells me that people are trying to get rid of their skins, at least currently. So hopefully the game keeps growing at the steady pace that it is growing, and then we will see that going up in the future. In terms of opportunities, like, again, get the skins that you like. It doesn't have to be the main ones. Like, just buy what you're comfortable with and what you're actually going to be using within the game. And after that, then hopefully they go up in the future to such an extent that you see massive increases. So buy the ones you actually enjoy and see how that behaves, because right now you can get for 40 skins for 40 cents, 50 cents, that just kind of like make you an individual within the game. In terms of Avas, like, I don't, some games I see like me and another person using those, but it's extremely rare, right? So again, we may see a price hike in these, and no matter what you're kind of going for, obviously like the cheapest one but yeah, I traded one of these for $1, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, you kind of wanna ensure that you manage to get some of these in your investment portfolio, at least in CSGO, right? Like, it's something you can wear. It's something that kind of like defines your character. The Shatter Web Pass. Now, this is extremely controversial, and I don't know what to take of it. Now, my reasoning for, if we're to look at, let's actually go in here, right? And we go into Steam player count, Steam charts. If we go to Steam charts and we actually go into CSGO, we can see that there's a kind of like a constant wave of influx of players, right? And we see that players are peaking around 1 million at the moment. So the game has been growing extremely steadily and quite constant. But this has been in terms of, in the past sort of year, we've seen suddenly like a 25% increase in the player base, right? And we've also seen and in the past we've seen this, right? So in terms of all time, I actually see kind of waves going in. We're now seeing increased player base, and I believe this is going to keep going for a couple of months more. Now, and with coronavirus, or with the virus itself, we could actually see even more players coming into the market. But obviously, if you look at the last 4 months, we're looking at a 10% gain of average players or peak players, right? Now, this is extremely interesting just because of old operations, people that are coming into the game and they're falling in love with the game. They're willing to buy this operations. But now this is something that's kind of out there, and it's extremely predominant in the market, right? So in terms of what we know for this pass, like obviously it might increase in price, but I think because of the fact that it's going to be discontinued. But the problem is like if everybody's looking at this as sort of as an investment opportunity and people are dumping tons of money, sure. If you buy 10,000 of these passes and you make $1 each, sure. But for a small investor like myself, they don't make much sense just because of the fact that I don't think they'll be going nuts. Obviously, I might be wrong about this, right? And again, the passes. Like when we look at the passes, it's just people are willing to, you know, pay for the privilege of having that kind of token in their thing or in their, because at the end of the day, they are nothing more than tokens that you can actually have. And they say, oh, I've been in the game for this long. I've kind of like, again, every item that you have is sort of has this gloat value that allows you to kind of be like, oh, I'm, you know, but again, right now, the price of the pass is only like $1 higher than the Steam market, which still makes no sense because if you could buy it at $11, why buy it at this price, right? But again, I'm guessing there are some markets that are not allowed to buy from the Steam, so they buy from the market instead. I'm guessing, or from the game itself, I don't. But what we could see in the future is suddenly a price increase, right? If we're looking at Operation Pass, right? If we're looking at all the operation passes, and in this case, we're looking at kind of like everything that's in between, we see that everything has gone up in price. But the Hydra pass has only gone up like around, I believe it was $6 when it first started. And then we've only seen like a 50% increase after a 2-year hike, right? Obviously, we saw that it was like $9, and it drops to the $4, right? $3, $2. And then we see a price hike, right? And it's all of a sudden, right? Like we're seeing August, we're seeing January, we're seeing October, right? So it's when players start like kind of joining the game and want to kind of acquire the items because they want to start collecting them, or they believe that this might even increase in price. But again, I don't think that we might see something too crazy in terms of the price hike that now that we kind of expect this, you know? We could see operations passes becoming a sort of, you know, kind of item to trade in turn, getting away from the 15% trade tax that the Steam charges. But I don't think so, you know, like, and I believe that there's way more out there in people's inventories than what we see in the market today. So again, like the less people buy them, the more prominent they'll become. But again, I have no idea in terms of passes. This is just sort of like kind of like an assessment. Another thing that I'm actually, you know, interested in, I don't see many people talking about it, and you know, many people, now that you're here, you know, thanks for watching so much.